I found something. So I cleaned up some admin yesterday, and I found something in one of the boxes. I don't know if you can remember this, but before you have a look, I'm going to bring you coffee and then we go through that list. He has no idea. Hi, I'm Nichelle and this is Christo, and we are on our sailboat Pluto, currently in the Royal Cape Yacht Club. And last week's episode was a little bit depressing because we're in lockdown and we don't quite know how to feel about all of this. Cleaning up the boat, one of my boxes with lots of paperwork, and then I found this one. So this piece of paper is from 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, when we were still in Simonstown, ready to go. And we asked people to ask us questions. So we thought for today we're going to go through it and give you answers on these questions from 2.5 years ago. And I'm sure it might be different answers than we would have answered 2.5 years ago. Okay, cool. What is a song that you find yourself singing on the boat?
Jenny Had a Gun.
We just listened to Jenny Had a Gun. I would go...
Jamie Had a Gun.
I would go currently... What's the difference between me and you? You and me. Woo!
No, that's only when we hear alarms.
Yeah. We listen to a lot of music, like a big variety, anything from Afrikaans to classical to whatever. So it really does depend, and we sometimes talk in lyrics as well. So, what are you most excited about? Like in life? Actually sailing to Brazil and starting to do salsa. What are you most excited about?
Sailing. Getting away.
Alright. What are you hoping to see? I think I'm really looking forward to seeing nothing, and it might freak some people out, but literally seeing nothing around us. That would be pretty cool. Lots of sunrises and sunsets. I'm also excited to see islands, like literally arriving, seeing land and arriving. You?
Yeah, I like the idea of not seeing anything for months. Not months, for a couple of weeks.
What condition are you hoping to have your nails on your journey? That's hilarious. Currently, I have a plaster. I've been doing a lot of varnishing and sanding on the boat, so actually for 21 days. So the first day of lockdown I started. So I have horrible nails at the moment, but I try to maintain it as good and as well as I can. So I put nail polish on even if they're super short.
I don't.
Christo's got good nails. Like his nails are often longer than mine. Hard as nails.
I like mine long, very long. Mine's often my nails are longer than Nichelle's.
But it is. What is the onboard workout that you guys do? To be honest, in the last 3 years we have gained a lot of weight and lost lots of fitness. We thought we were going to be super big and active, and we're not. Also, I still do a lot of computer work, but it's right here and there's not a lot of space to do stuff up and down. But I do yoga, and we sometimes do a bit of pull-ups and things, and we've also started doing some monkey bar things at the yard. But in general, hopefully if the weather's good, we'll swim a little bit more, but we don't really have a routine. How much beer will you take along? We're not big beer drinkers.
We have a few bottles in the boats from time to time.
Yeah,
but not much.
Don't know. That's not, and I think like beer is one of the cheaper things to buy in other countries. Red wine, on the other hand, we might have to stock up on, and then whiskey. We both like whiskey. We've started drinking tequila in a funny manner, actually normal manner. It's just a lemon, but that's different.
Con una pasión tan fuerte.
Salt, tequila. I'll do it again. How will you prevent scurvy?
Drinking tequila.
Definitely. What favorite food or drink will you definitely make space for?
Whiskey.
Whiskey, red meat,
A whole chicken.
fresh spinach. Like, I have a thing for spinach, and I really struggle even now in lockdown if we don't have spinach.
And fishing.
Yeah, but take with, like, what we can't.
Lures.
Will your strategy be to entertain yourselves in boring watches? I'm planning on listening to podcasts and maybe watch a few movies and just chilling and
Kindle, reading.
reading
With stacks of books, stacks of movies.
and audiobooks. And I might paint also underway, do a bit of a painting journal. How many bottles of wine are you taking? It depends how much money we've got left after this lockdown. Wine is not a priority at this stage. What is your yearly budget? How many years? This is a good way to explain our approach.
Unquantifiable.
We are not cruisers in the sense that we've got a budget and we've got time and now we're going. It's fluid for us. We both work, as most of you might know if you've been following the channel. So there's no limit to what we're going to do. As long as we can afford it, we'll keep going. Will you go Panama or Patagonia?
To answer that question, my choice would be around south. Magellan Strait or around the Horn. Totally, but I don't think we're heading that way soon.
It's still so hot. Yeah.
Where are we?
How often does Christo do the dishes? Interesting that he picked up the paper now.
Yeah, I would like Michelle to answer that. How often do I do the dishes?
Often enough.
Often enough.
It's complicated. I actually don't want to talk about it, but we did have a fairly decent argument. Our standing arrangement is whoever makes food cleans up the kitchen. But the grey area is, what about breakfast? Because we both make our own breakfast. What about coffee? And then what about when we braai? Because I would do the side dishes and he would braai the meat. But we don't have to discuss our stuff. I think we've sorted it out. I think I protest too much.
Yeah, I think the lady does protest too much.
My water bottle,
So
yeah.
the answer to that question is, if you read deeper into often enough,
He does. do it
yeah,
often
that's the
enough.
answer.
What floats your boat? Fresh food, adventure.
And skin fittings, good skin fittings and closed seacocks, that floats the boat.
Okay.
Do you actually? So I'm gonna read
Do you
what
actually think you're gonna?
think.
Do you actually think you're gonna catch fish? Yeah, definitely.
Handline. What method? Handline. And dragging at least 2 handlines, which it's already made up with lures and a library of lures and a bungee arrangement. We're gonna catch fish. What is the meal of choice on Pluto? I'll tell you what my meal of choice is, and I have a few. A good mature piece of rump steak
Yeah.
with a sliver of fat on the side, medium to rare, with greens like veggies like a broccoli or asparagus or cauliflower or spinach or like any number of veggies, with a very good garden salad which consists of chopped onions, cucumbers, tomatoes, definitely avo, and like a variety of sprouts sprinkled over it. That's one meal. Finished off with peaches and custard.
Sure.
Another meal is,
Bacon and eggs.
I'm talking meals, not
Okay.
breakfast. This is breakfast, that's not a meal. So another meal is a roast chicken, a whole chicken, roasted or flattened and roasted, or barbecued or fried, with veggies, aforementioned veggies and salad. Finished off with peaches and custard. And lamb stew, where you brown the lamb and then you stew it in a little bit of beer and water and spices and a fair bit of black pepper, and then of course veggies goes in it, on basmati rice or something like that, or on potatoes. Finished off with peaches and custard. Michelle, what are yours?
I really love a good curry. I'm also slightly more on the creative side when it comes to making dishes. So I really enjoy when there's only a few things left to have a look and make something of it. So Christo likes, as you can hear, like very specific stuff. If it's left over, I'll make something really interesting. My meals tend to be a bit more of a eat, pray, love vibe, lentils and things like that. But all of what he said is really amazing. Bri is great. We love food, so can't really pick and choose. And obviously whenever you don't have something available, that's what you crave.
And peaches and custard. How long is a piece of string?
Funny. Okay, how will you celebrate crossing the equator? I know there's specific rules of how to do it, and I think it involves drinking like most things on a sailboat.
I think you have to rotate your boat clockwise on the one side and anti-clockwise on the other side.
I don't know. We'll have to read up on that. Don't know. What's the next question?
Will you have a garden like in Waterworld? And my answer is the boat's too small, there's not enough space, and the sea spray is going to kill things, and it's too much work for the amount of yield that it'll give.
I really love plants, and I have grown veggies and little flowers and things on the boat, and then we gave it away. And we do sprouts, and they work really well. I don't think that's considered plants.
Yeah, the sprouts, I can consider that.
If he looks away, I'm going to start planting basil and pots before we go. For me, it's not only, you don't have to be self-sustained on the plants, but it's entertaining and it's very satisfying. Onions also work really well, so I've got a short list of things that we are going to grow, but overall, we don't have a lot of space and we don't want stuff everywhere. That's the last one.
No, who's the ship's doctor?
Interesting. We had a friend that's a doctor in trauma, and they also have a boat, and she came on board, and before that day Krista's been very reluctant to help me look after any of his injuries. And I'm very excitable about it, and then I established that is why. So she did a bit of a chat with us, and I established, because I'm so excitable about wanting to help, it really freaks him out. And thank you so much for doing it, Alzan. She came through and she showed us how to do stitches and spoke through all the like little scenarios, and how to put in a drip, just lots of basic stuff, but scenario based. So because they know about sailing, what if then this, what if then that. But overall, I think it might have given you an idea that I'm not a crazy, like, rah, just want to cut things open, but I'm really not squeamish, and I like quick results, so I like to help right there. So putting stitches in and things like that, but obviously you need to know how to do it. So we practice that with her, and we'll keep practicing on tomatoes and bananas and oranges and things. Do you feel better after that?
Yes, I just wanted to point out, well, the perspective that I had is like a certain amount of enthusiasm with a scalpel in your hand can sort of can be unsettling. So she has the enthusiasm, and now maybe we just pry the scalpel out of her hands, and then we can carry on with the nursing.
That's the last on the list. I hope you all have an okay time in lockdown, and that's really it from us. Do you have anything to add? And see you next time.
Au revoir.
Mm-hmm.